Okay, I'm here for the channel message, and I'm curious how it's going to sound with a large mower outside my window. I do apologize if that is interfering with your receptivity, but I really want to channel a message. There it goes loud. I have a few new decks, and I just can't wait. I just, gotta do it. Got to do it. So, for those of you who may be new here, which I hope lots of you are, because I'm ready to just, reach that wider audience. What I like to do is channel messages, from the aliens, the ascended masters, your higher self, source consciousness, all that jazz. And I love to use tarot and oracle cards to play the game, to make it fun, to keep it interesting, to have things to show you. I get a lot of visual, I get a lot of knowing, and I just trust that stuff to come out. But I find that easier when I'm activating the receiver with the pictures on the cards and the excitement of that, and the curiosity to put the puzzle together with the cards that come out versus what's coming through. That's what I like to do. So that's what we're going to do today. And also an intention I set that I'll share with you is that I get better and better at getting my consciousness, my humanness, my ego-ness kind of out of the way to get the pure message. And I endeavor to bring through with more tenacity, for lack of a better word, the different aliens. Like I said, the ascended masters, I've definitely channeled them before. Source consciousness, your higher self, really having definitive channels come through for different situations. That's what I'm in training camp with myself right now for. So welcome, and subscribe, like, follow, do whatever it is, wherever you're seeing this platform. I'm not quite sure where this video is going yet, or what the title is going to be, that kind of thing. So comment, like, share. Like I said, it's time to reach the wider audience. So anyway, let's play. What's motivated me today is to show you a couple of new decks that I got. And this is one of them. The box is where? That's the top of it. It's in one of those ones that you pull up. But that's this one. And then I don't have, these guys are here too. I've had these for a little bit. They glow in the dark and they feel like this kind of raw papery kind of a feel, which I love. And they're all black and white because you can activate them, like I said, to glow in the dark. I want to play with those. I felt like they wanted to talk. This one is based on like traditional tattoos. I love me a tattoo. And so this deck spoke to me. The back is so simple, which also is cool. So I like that. Then I wanted to talk a little bit about playing card. These are playing card Rider Waite Smith imagery inspired deck of cards. So you've got your playing card type vibes with also all the hidden, we got to surrender to those intuitive messages and not let the world, don't let our brain get in the way, Oh, I love that. Okay, anyway, can't wait to see what messages are going to come through for us. So this deck I find pretty activating, and that's what I'm about. Lighting up, helping you really ignite that light within you. You've probably heard of the violet flame before, or perhaps if you haven't, you can Google it. I believe that's an ascended masters thing, and I believe that I can be a little conduit for that jazz. So if you need that zest, that go for it, you can do that, the kind of thing, you're in the right place. Another deck that I want to show you. This is the newest of the new ones I'm showing you. I just got this a week or 2 weeks ago, almost. So I have literally not played with it very much. Again, the black and white vibe. So I love that. Playing in contrast, bringing the black and white together to make that gray, that kind of fun path to what we want. And these have some cool things on them. Judgment card, again, that just popped out of that other deck as well. And we also got the Fool popping out of another deck. So that in itself may take us down the road of messages. But look at this Judgment card. The spirit of primal fire. And I like how that kind of showed up as I was telling you about the violet flame, and really that ignition place within you that I'm here to help activate, be a conduit for you to pull that activation. I think this card speaks to that a lot. So I love that it showed up while I was talking about that. Put a lot of symbols on here. 22 was the first number on the timer when I looked at the clock as well. So 22 could be significant, or the symbolism of that 4 is also being significant, bringing the converging paths together to create what it is you really desire, and moving into that really that receiving place. That's what that number kind of connects us to, and seeing the truth of our own magic and what's possible, things like that, shifting with this card. So I love how much there is in this deck, and I love how they've got us playing already. And I was just introducing which decks I'm going to be introducing. That's fun. And yeah, 555 on the clock as we're talking about that. So I'm going to shuffle these guys first. That's where we are. Let's see what comes out, as well as I'm just going to close my eyes because I find it a little easier to see the pictures that they bring forward. Seeing that hourglass, kind of a symbol for divine timing at play here. So for anyone who's been feeling that, like, you're like at the gate, you're revving your engine like at the start of a race, and you're ready to go, but there's, they haven't pulled the gate yet to let you out. It's that kind of a feel with this hourglass. But I will tell you, the sand, how they drip the sand to show the timer, whatever that timer is, it's going to be different for everyone, but it is coming to the end. It's not at the end. Oh, I've got so many goosebumps. So maybe that's something you're wanting. It's coming to the end, where that timing is going to run out, and it's going to happen, arrive, be there, whatever that's going to mean to you. And the Lord of Abundance, as I'm saying that. And so that's our 3 of Cups, just overflowing abundance, deep connection to the undercurrents of life, to what's possible, to the flow. So this is being in surrender and really getting and receiving of what is to come. I love that. And I like showing you this so you can tap into your own symbolism here and feel within your body. Okay, recommending breath, breathe. I love that. Breathing in this moment, breathing in which part of the messages are for you, breathing in that flow and overflow. They're really sharing that overflow and receiving vibe. Yeah, success, unfulfilled, just kind of peeking out at the bottom here. So that's an invitation for us to breathe the release of unfulfillment. Maybe you've lived in different areas and pockets of your life. Maybe some of them are there right now that aren't fulfilled. And maybe the areas you feel fulfilled kind of distract you from that, but they want to kind of point you at that right now so that you can see that divine timing plays a role, and you don't need to carry that unfulfillment, that it's never going to happen. They need to reignite that opening of your channel of, it happening, and the universe being able to pour into you because you have allowed room for that. And I just want to see, and of course the 4 showing up for us, Lord of Blended Pleasure, and it is our 4 of Cups. Isn't this deck magnificent? You got to let me know in the comments. And if you're a tarot reader as well, I'd love to know, how these cards project for you. I'm definitely not your average, if you're new here again, reader. I don't subscribe to this means this specifically. I love the meanings that people have passed down over the years to be a beautiful guide point, jumping off space, especially in the beginning of hearing messages and helping train you on how to gain different perspective in a way. But also it's a fine line, because you can get very much stuck in it means this, it means that, and then down the way being too attached to that and not being able to hear what the real message is, because sometimes it's nothing like what that prescribed meaning has been up until that point. So readers out there, I'd love to know how you feel about that. It's funny, one of the things in a reading that I kind of worry about or don't love when it happens is when people who know the cards want to see the card and they start to put those traditional meanings on it. And sometimes my channel is way in a different direction as we're sharing messages. And yeah, so it can get a little sticky, but I do want to show them to you so you can pull your meaning, not so much the prescribed meaning, or play with the prescribed meaning and see what parts of it might apply and where you can take it. What thread is pointing out for you? 1022, as I was saying that. So, yeah. Anyway, back to the collective message, which is really pointing at that openness to receive and letting go of the times in your life. Speaking of time, so this is a very timely message. If you're receiving it, it's divine, because this really is about how we play with time and the way it's had us perceive different parts of ourselves and our journey and what we're meant for and not meant for, based on, the unfulfillment and the different times things didn't work out and it felt like you maybe weren't exactly in the right place, or things weren't happening in the timing that you expected. And they want you to know there's always something at play for you. And sometimes, things are clearing the way and it takes a sec. Sometimes it's you believing and you taking the steps as if you believe that really unlock your ability to see that divine timing and see that it's working for you, not against you. They remind me it's always a yes from the universe. And of course, we've got the Sun card showing up too, as well as the Nine of Pentacles. And I think that shows growth. I think it shows that you've put in work. So obviously, if you're listening to this, you've probably looked at self-help. You've probably looked at ways to change your life, and maybe even being able to take significant growth steps and really change who you are and what you've been up to. And maybe for some of you, that's what you're contemplating or debating. Maybe you've thought about, oh, I could change this, I could clear out this in my life, bad habits or changing lifestyle things to be better. Maybe that's something you've been thinking about. And 1221, as I say that. And so they're encouraging you towards that. The number 3 really lends itself to taking those steps in the right direction. And as you go, the universe follows and helps you. So I like seeing that the 3s and 4s are showing up here to show us that we can let go of the past and move towards the future to keep going towards what we want. Even when we don't know what the next right step is, we need to trust in what we've been planting being able to be harvested, and that the universe has the time for that. It's an ecosystem. Again, timing. It's things have to ruminate and boil and ebb and flow beneath the surface before they come out and inject into our lives as the physical things that we've been wanting and want to show up as and live as, which is sometimes just as important as what we're calling in, is the ability to feel like our automatic self reactions to things that happen around us are without effort, and what we want, those automatic things being what we want, is so important. I know I have felt that way in my own life, so I love hearing that support from the universe, that validation, that divine timing does play a role in all of that. And it's not just about us forcing and working hard and making it happen. That's actually the universe's job. We need to be in those matching frequencies. And they show me that sometimes it's the things that pull our energy away from the frequency that's actually what we want to look at, because we vibe. Speaking of being automatic, we vibe in that high frequency already, and it's more we dabble with things to pull us down, I think, to experience that. But it's remembering who we really are, not then being the identities of the things that pulled us down, and falling so far into it that we forget who we are, which is that high frequency being that is great at manifesting and creating and taking those leaps of faith and having that hope and that ability to channel through what we need when we need it. Cool. Well, that was the first deck. So you have to let me know what you thought of that message. Maybe I'll even listen back. Feels really juicy in my body. Okay, that was really weird to say. It feels potent, like a potion, like an elixir going through my veins. I guess is more how I want to say that. And that's really cool. And I think that's why I love bringing the cards in, even though I feel as a vocal channel, I mean, I've been seeing and hearing things my whole life. I've always loved to talk and express with my voice. Although singing never worked out like I thought it would. But there's something about the cards and the visual too that I love bringing in, because that's 1515, something I love. And yeah, I don't know where I was going with that. But anyway, I'm gonna have a little sip of my coffee so that I can continue to speak. So let's look at the next deck here, which is this one, the Supernova Tarot by Federico Salas. I just love the box vibe. Like, it was just like, yeah, okay. You know, it's definitely for the freaks like me, you know, queer. So we're going to shuffle this puppy up, and I'm just going to breathe and let go of the message that's already come through, and really just tap back in to see, is it a continuation? Is it a fresh vibe for, you know, more aspects that need to be connected? Like, where are we at here? I'm already seeing that overthinker card come out with like the hard work, the push, but the frustration. Could be looking at headaches, sleepless night type of vibe, right? And it's like being the doer instead of the beer, perhaps. And that could be someone here, just a qualifier to say, you know, like the thinking, the challenges, that all being at the front and figuring out and the proving and the finding and the searching, like that can be very activating. And it could be that you now want to switch your energy. Maybe something you've been asking for is like more ease, but then you don't kind of change your ways, which is totally normal. And yeah, they want you to see how you contribute. It's kind of going back to how I was saying, mixing the dualities of life to make a better soup, a better thing. And it's like, you got to recognize where you're at and then see where you want to go, and kind of untangle yourself, which I love that they're bringing forward here, from the motivations that got you where you are, and see what now you can pour into where you're going. And I think being truly clear of self is really this, there's like this balance coming in. So perhaps you've put a lot of eggs in one basket, you know, really focused on your work, but didn't allow yourself a lot of playtime. Perhaps you know, allow a certain part of yourself to come forward in one area of your life and a certain part in another area of life, but you don't often blend it all to be all that you are in every area of your life, because that maybe a part of that would sound exhausting if you're the kind of person who's had to, you know, be going on the hamster wheel for a while and be navigating challenges, right? I just want to bring it back to that. If you've had a life of that, problem solving and, you know, making things happen and navigating challenges, then that approach is going to be what you want to apply to things going forward, you know, in this now moment and forward. And they want to call you. It's more about seeing that that's what's been activating you, seeing those patterns, and now seeing what else you have within you to bring to the table, the new identities maybe that have yet to be uncovered or that you would like to uncover. And they want more of you to show up, more of you coming to the table. You know, if you were to go on a date with yourself and you were learning new things about yourself, what are new places you might take yourself, you know, as if you were meeting a stranger, what would you celebrate with them? What would you want to see in them as other qualities you love to bring to the surface? That's what they want to speak to now. And that it's time to release that kind of wounded warrior vibe, that, ooh, what's next? When's the shoe going to drop? When are things going to fall apart? I have to keep going in order to keep them together. It's all about what I can do. And it's let's remove the significance from that and move it into the passions that really excite and delight you, and start to teach yourself how to move from that space. Now, there's a whole lot we could unpack there, because we're talking, you know, sometimes it's about And yeah, maybe we need to take a deep breath, because it's the nervous system. It's the physical body has to be able to hold this, has to be able to move through this as well. So sometimes there's going to be that release, that letting go, letting flow, the energies of the past, and not necessarily reliving every memory or anything like that, but really letting your body speak to you, and some beautiful small ways that you can do this is each day saying, hey, what do you need right now, body, in terms of food and water and, liquids and things? What can I put in right now that would feel fantastic and give you what you need to release and process the energies, right? Because you can help you do that kind of behind the scenes as you take in the nutrition and the movement and the meditation and the journaling and the release and the things that you need to do, the awarenesses. Also wearing clothes that give you the vibe and the frequency to put you in that healing state, because your body knows how to do that. And it can become very easy when you're able to be in that beautiful, I want to say, reciprocity, like give and take with your body, where you're really nourishing yourself with what you really need, acknowledging all parts of you, and letting go. I know for me, I had lots of emotions to process within the body, and some of it took a few years of me, but having that self-love and really caring for myself for those to even surface, because they were deep, energetic pulls from long ago. And as I got more in tune with myself, it was less about reliving those times and feeling like I had to do healing and work and blah, blah, blah. And it became more about honoring the emotion as it surfaced, and letting it go, and knowing that, and trusting that I had done the work, and trusting that I had seen what I need to see, and trusting that as I learned to speak to my body with compassion and love, and being in flow with my higher self and the universe, that I was able to hold myself there and move through things without the force and the fix. And understanding, again, bringing this back to timing, which was in the initial message coming through, of giving ourselves the space and time to process. And it gets to be faster as you go, but when you're first tapping into this, sometimes you may spend a whole day releasing emotion, and that doesn't necessarily look like crying the whole day or feeling mopey the whole day, but there may be a nap in the day, or there may be some crying a part of that day, or maybe writing in your journal to process. And how that looks for you is perfectly perfect, and allow that process to flow and see what's possible. I'm seeing the Queen of Wands here, and she's quite beautiful. And, she has the opulence, she has the calmness, she has the freedom to enjoy. I see the sunflower there, and I see the gold and the red. And yeah, she's a queen, a true, confident. She shares, she's connected. So I love that. I love that is who you are, and more of what's ready to shine bright like a diamond, Ooh, with the King of Swords right there. I love that. Real beautiful. Yeah, moving. Maybe you're even, into leadership roles or a leader. And, the more as you get on board with all of who you are, the more you get to use those talents as well. And it's being able to match the beautiful logic and analytics and your ability to really assess and see what you need. And then that Queen of Wands, that magnetic energy of being able to know that you're the queen, know that all you desire, you deserve. And that's a great message from her. And it's less about what she does for others, because that's can be what she likes to lean into, but it's more of what she can delegate to the universe. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I like that. Okay, let me shuffle these up one more time. King of Pentacles was there as well with a change. So I like that message overarching, just being less about what you do and more about how you be in your, what it is you desire role, Yeah, divine forces. Four of Swords falling down there. Yeah, really holding in our mind's eye what our intentions are, getting really clear about them, maybe having a bit of a rest, a bit of a pullback to see how your dreams and desires come to life. The more you are, the more in the frequency of what you want to be. This message is getting long and I haven't even been through all the decks, so maybe I'll save more for next time, because I don't know how long we want these to be. You guys have to let me know what you like listening to and what parts are for you. I just love to talk to you in the comments and really have some engagement on this video so we can get it out to more people and really activate me to activate you to be in this beautiful reciprocity. And yeah, okay, well, it was lovely to have you here. Please subscribe, please hit the notification bell, and also give it a thumbs up. Also, I am available for one-to-one sessions, so you can find all that information in the description below. Okay, ciao.